them out. You just make it. Say this. Let's go. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. Let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. Let's go. Let's go. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. Let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. If you want some, come get some. Cause where I'm from, we so big. And everybody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows something about it. And I want answers now. Who, what, where, why? See, a lot of dudes like to act the fool now. Get on live, but that ain't my style. Now who he gon' get and what he gon' do? Run up on me if you want to. Hot damn pressing his homies. He's done up in front of his mama. I'm up the floor with him. And I kick in the door and let the fofo get him. I got fools that'll go get him. That's for him and Boo and the dudes that run with him. If you want it, you can get it.
Fantasy Podcast. I am the host, Cory. It is just me today, fellas. All the fellas are busy. Just wanted to hit a quick recap of week 3 and some free agent finds. And you have that question, go ahead and post it in the live feed. For those who are on Facebook, post your questions in the live feed, and I will try to get to some of those. Always out. It was actually amazing. I got out in the group this morning. Sound like an old man walking in a nursing home or something, but I actually got to get a few posts and interact with a lot of people this morning, and a lot of you guys have some good insights, so that's really good. That means if you have a group full of people that's really knowledgeable about a topic, then usually you get pretty good information flowing. And so shout out to those people that are giving out good information, doing the research, and not afraid to share it. So with that, we are moving on. Man, I remember hitting on that Titans game, so we're not going to hit on the Titans and Jags game. We all know what that is. We're moving into this game. What a game this was. It wasn't looking too hot for Lamar at first, but you don't want to give up on the player too early. So with that being said, Patrick Mahomes just showed out against his Baltimore defense. He went off 374 yards, 3 TDs, fantasy stats-wise. Oh, my gosh, it was amazing. He had a run for 7 yards. Not really, you don't get a stat for that, but everything else looked really good. LaShawn McCoy only had 8 carries. He did get a TD there, and I wanted to say, yeah, he caught a TD as well. So Shady had a phenomenal game. It's his backfield for the time being until anyone else comes back. Hardman, man, what a find. Definitely, if you guys were listening to us last week, yes, Hardman was a great find, man. He had 5 targets, so he's still getting targets. He's starting to catch Sammy Watkins in targets. So be on the lookout for that, because that's a story that could unfold if Tyreek Hill comes back in the next few weeks. And Sammy Watkins could be the third receiver if McCole Hardman continues to impress. So be watching that, Watkins fans, or owners, I should say. If you have Watkins, you might want to put him on the trade block. See what you can get for him now. Nothing else really big on that side of the ball but Lamar. 267 yards, no touchdowns this week, no INTs either. I can't remember if he fumbled. I don't think he did. So we're looking at also Mark Ingram. Huge game for Ingram. He just played phenomenal, man. He just fits this team so well, man. He's a hard-nosed football player on a hard-nosed team. I was really big on him going into the offseason. Speaking of which, I am going to post my draft notes, guys. I know it's week 3 and everybody's like, oh, he will post them after week 3. But you could tell it's pretty old because I've taken a lot of notes. So I am going to post those, see how you guys feel about it. So far, my teams are doing pretty well. So back on to this game. Yeah, Mark Andrews, man, he didn't really show up in this game, but he did have 7 targets. The Chiefs tried to take him out of the game. I guess they wanted to see Lamar throw it to his receivers. So, of course, they took Andrews out of this game and made Lamar throw it elsewhere. But, man, Mark Ingram stepped up in a big way. Other than that, nothing really to see here. Lamar ran in for a TD late in the game. He had 46 yards. So you're getting that production out of Lamar, especially for a later round pick. I'm kicking myself for not taking him earlier. But hey, what can you do? So if he doesn't produce in the air, he's still producing on the ground. So that's phenomenal. I mean, some running backs didn't even cover that stat line. Some starting running backs on some fantasy teams rosters this weekend didn't even cover that stat line. So just put it together. You're getting quarterback numbers here most of the days, or most days for Lamar, and you're getting running back numbers here. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. So shout out to everyone that got him there. Going back to the scoreboard, we have the Rams and the Browns game. That was that Sunday night game. A little bit. That Browns team, man. I told you guys a couple weeks back. That Browns team, I'm concerned with that offensive line. They're not looking too hot. I didn't watch the game. I wanted to go back and watch this game, but just looking at the stat line, Baker Mayfield only threw for 195 yards against a Rams defense that, they're a good defense, but they're not great. They can be exposed, but Baker Mayfield didn't really do that. Nick Chubb had 96 yards, so he keeps getting really close to that 100-yard mark. It's going to happen eventually. That's one thing the Rams are really good at. It is stopping the run. They have a crazy front seven. Their safeties are, they're not the strong suit. They're showing the safeties right here in the video. But, Baker Mayfield didn't do too much of anything. They were playing away, but no, they were at home, man. Yeah, that's really alarming. Playing at home, can't get the job done. Only threw for one touchdown. Jared Goff came in there and pretty much showed out. It was his house. I mean, 2 TDs. He did throw 2 INTs, but Goff has been showing up. Something else I brought up in an earlier podcast is I wanted to see Goff show up in these last 2 weeks. He showed up last week, played phenomenal. He showed up this week, played phenomenal. So with Goff playing well, that Rams team, they can make a good push in the playoffs again. I don't see the Super Bowl, and this is the reason why. Yes, the Browns probably came in and said, we're going to continue to stop Gurley, but Gurley off 14 carries, only 43 yards. Didn't really have an impact in the game, no catches. I'm worried about Gurley in fantasy people. I just don't know what's going on. I can't really say that Browns defense shuts down against the run. We can pull up stats and everything else and look at that. I'm actually intrigued to see where that Browns defense is against the run. But Todd Gurley, fantasy dud this week. Cooper Kupp showed up in a major way. 11 catches, 102 yards, 2 TDs. Cooks, 8 catches, 112 yards. Man, those guys, 12 targets apiece. You can't beat that. Robert Woods only showed up with 3 catches on 40 yards. But, those two are going to show up all season. I love those two in the LA system. The only reason I was staying away from him in my drafts was because I was worried about Jared Goff. And now he's showing up. If you got these two, you're going to be sitting pretty. Brandon Cooks is going to obviously be boom or bust on the TD mark, but when he hits, he hits. So that was a good game. I was impressed with a lot of numbers there. Dolphins and Cowboys. The Cowboys went in and did what they had to do. You started your Cowboys. You were good. You started Dak. You started Zeke. Shout out to Pollard. He had a really phenomenal game. Don't count on that every week. Unfortunately, it was against the Dolphins. So with that being said, they didn't wear Zeke out in this game that you were pretty much going to win, and they won and they dominated. Nothing to see with the Dolphins. Their schedule gets a little bit lighter, so continue to watch their receivers. The receivers are making plays, but they had some these first 3 weeks were rough to the Dolphins on the schedule. So look for those receivers to start getting loose. I'm still watching Preston Parker. I'm still watching my other guy. So actually, let me pull this up real quick. I always mess up Parker. Parker and Preston Williams. There we go. 12 targets, man. But he had a tough Dallas defense against the pass. So I'm telling you, this kid is sleeping up. He's waking up as a sleeper. Pay attention. 12 targets. Josh Rosen will probably be likely starting the rest of the season. He could be a high-end receiver too. I'm just saying. Don't be afraid to make the move. The best part about fantasy is we don't care about the team's records unless it's your team. So Dolphins, yes, they're going to get blown out in a lot of games. What does that mean? More passing. Because why? The Dolphins don't want to get shut out. So they're going to try to do something. They want to see what they have in Josh Rosen. They're going to continue to throw the ball. Grab the receivers. Their schedule will get lighter. Boom. I'm saying it right there. Shout out to the listeners. You just heard a huge drop. So, Broncos and Packers, man. For everyone that knows, I am a Broncos fan. We started off 0-3. Ugh, disgusting. Most people are like, oh, they're throwing the season away. I don't see it. I am waiting for Locke to come back and take over the role for Flacco. Not impressed with Flacco. He's not getting the ball in the end zone. He's not a threat in the end zone either. So with that being said, fantasy-wise, don't worry about Flacco. But if Locke comes back and he plays to where we drafted him, hey, the sky is the limit because the pieces are here. The pieces are definitely here for this offense to be explosive. But just right now, these are the only two players you really want to own on this offense or starting wise. They'll continue to work both running backs into the game. We're going to run the ball. We're actually establishing our offense right now, and we're going to run. So Phillip Lindsay, 21 carries, 81 yards, 2 TDs against a tough Packers run defense. Royce Freeman continues to impress. He had 63 yards. Not someone you want to start in fantasy right now. He had 4 catches to go alone. So about 11 points showing for Royce Freeman. Not the greatest numbers, but, better than a lot of running backs. Looking at Aaron Jones right here, 2 touchdowns against us, man. Those 2 TDs saved his day because other than that, man, he only had 1 catch for 4 yards. He didn't do much on the ground. Williams is starting to look like he's going to take control of that backfield between the 20s. So Aaron Jones might be the red zone kind of guy, and Williams will be just the big play. He had to score in a big play, so that's scary. Badass Scantling had a pretty big game, 6 catches, 99 yards, and 1 TD. I hate seeing this because most leagues have a kicker where you get a bonus point or you get bonus points for the 100 yards. So, man, he missed that kicker, so sucks there. Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers came out and he said that he has to do a better job than getting Devontae Adams just 4 targets and 4 catches. He did have Chris Harris all over him. My boy locks up receivers, so there is that. So I'm not worried about it. I am worried about Jimmy Graham only getting 1 target, but we know that Aaron Rodgers doesn't like his tight ends. When Jimmy Graham in that first game with Aaron Rodgers, when he threw him the ball, Jimmy Graham looked great. Jimmy Graham looked like the old Jimmy Graham. He looked explosive. He looked good. But they're not giving him the ball. So it might be time to drop Jimmy Graham. There's other tight ends out there. We'll hit some of those. I know shout out to Alex. He put his waiver wire out there. So if you guys are interested on some waivers, he just posted his waiver wire. I'll get to that after we hit some more games. Other than that, nothing really to see here. Pretty much what I expected out of this game. Pretty much a slugfest. No really touchdown-wise. This Valdez-Scantling touchdown was actually on an offsides penalty. And the defenders were pretty much like, oh, what's going on? And Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers made the play. So, other than that, it was pretty much a dogfight. Let's go to our next few games. I want to get into some waivers. How long have we been going? About 13 minutes. Okay, we have time to get about 2 or 3 more games in, and then we'll hit some waiver wires. Let's go Falcons and Colts. A lot of people in the group's been calling it. Jacoby Brissett is an fantasy asset. He's been showing up 310 yards, threw for 2 TDs. He's getting the ball out. T.Y. Hilton is hurt. We have to see what's going on with T.Y. He left the game early. Concerned with that. Pascal, it seems like every year we're like, all right, who do we take in place of T.Y.? And it's like, oh, maybe Pascal. Oh, maybe where's the other guy? Oh, now we got Deion Kane out there. And it's just like, oh, Ali Cox. It's it seems like this is the same thing every year. But when T.Y.'s on the field, he's dominant. But it's just he's not on the field. So if T.Y.'s out, I am looking at Ebron to step up, and Doyle is starting to get more and more targets. They might drop down to more of a two receiver set. Hopefully, Deion Kane slides into that Ty role because the kid is explosive and he can make plays. Paris Campbell has looked good, but I don't know who you go and grab right now. I have to read some more reports. I'm actually going to look at that because looking at the target count, it's nothing really standing out. That's really just like, oh man, it's going to be this person. He's doing a really Jacoby Brissett is doing a really good job of spreading out the ball. What you want to see in a young and producing quarterback is somebody that can spread the ball out. So Marlon Mack looked good. I want to say he came out with the injury as well. We'll look and see what that is. We'll post about that. This Atlanta offense is actually they're waking up. They were away, but they're starting to wake up. Devontae Freeman finally starting to get to that 100-yard mark. He's starting to get loose a little bit. He's getting the backfield work now with Smith. Smith got hurt in this game. Julio looks great again, 8 for 9, 128 yards in the TD. Looking like the old Julio. I told you guys, Dirk Carter was going to get this man the ball in the end zone, and he's doing it. Mohamed Sanu sewed up, and Calvin Ridley did not. So this could be something that we have to deal with throughout the season is Calvin Ridley and Mohamed Sanu switching out every so often, like getting the targets, which could be a problem, man. So we have Austin Hooper with 7 targets, 2 TDs. Man, I don't know. I don't see it being like that every week, but Austin Hooper is definitely a tight end you can start weekly, and just fingers crossed he continues to get those red zone targets. You cannot beat 2 TDs, 6 receptions off of 7 targets. QBs love that kind of stuff. So let's hit a couple more games. All right. We definitely have to get to this game right here at least. Panthers and Cardinals. Will Grier. I don't know why the Panthers drafted Will Grier, but I mean, I guess he's a young up-and-coming backup now because it's looking like Cam might not be playing. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but Cam is definitely out for the next couple of weeks, it's looking like. So, and Allen just looked phenomenal, man. He was playing against a weak Cardinals defense. I'm going to say that this Cardinals defense, they're not ready. They're missing obviously they're missing their best cornerback. They have Suggs, who hasn't been much of a factor for them, but he looked good, man. Jones had 2 sacks in that game. Chandler Jones, he's up and coming. I wanted to see, is Suggs hurt? Oh no, he's not. He had 2 tackles, 1 solo. So yeah, not much of a factor, but Allen looked really good against this Cardinals defense. Chris McCaffrey showed back up as he should. He's a man. 153 yards, 1 TD. DJ Moore. Scary stuff. 1 reception, but he had a TD on that 1 reception, but only 2 targets. Curtis Samuel's getting all the love. Him and Allen are connecting. 5 receptions for 53 yards in the TD, 7 targets, and obviously Greg Olsen, the man, is getting all their love still. 7 targets, 6 receptions, 2 TDs, 75 yards. Those numbers are definitely inflated, guys. So, if you have Curtis Samuels, I'm selling high right now. If you can sell hot and you can sell him high and you can get back maybe a better tight end if you need a tight end, or a better running back if you're in a bad running back situation, because the running back situation is scarce. So even if you need a backup, I would trade Curtis Samuel. I know everybody's like, well, he's going to be that number 1, but you have to remember this Cardinals defense was really soft. I don't know if you're going to be able to trust Curtis Samuel week in and week out, when if you were really weak at running back, you can go out there and get you another running back. If you are weak at receiver, and you need to keep Curtis Samuel, then you're definitely going to have to play the matchups. With DJ Moore not getting that many targets in his game, we might see number one cornerback starting to shade to Curtis Samuel. So we'll see how that plays out. But other than that, they had a really good game. Kyler Murray, 2 TDs, 2 picks, but other than that, man, he's really been impressing me. Shout out to everybody to grab Zane Gonzalez because they cannot finish in the red zone. I knew that was going to be a problem with DJ. Looks like a shell of himself. He just can't get loose. Everybody's still clouding the box, but it has been some bad matchups for DJ. But I don't know. What's saving DJ is obviously the catching. 9 targets. He has 6 catches, only 28 yards in a TD. That's what's saving DJ's stats right now. Other than that, DJ's been a scary, scary prospect. He scored last week off a catch as well. This offensive line cannot run block to save their lives. You could give it a couple more weeks because usually offensive lines take a while to get back in action or to jail. So there's that. Let's see. And the last game we'll hit, and then we'll hit some waiver wire talk, is sorry, we're going down. And let's hit this Saints and Seahawks game. What a game that was. It actually I can't believe the Saints, man. They went in there and they did their thing in a crazy 12-man environment. Cody's team is the Saints, and he was like, they went in and beat 12 man with 11 man in the hype talk. He had the 300 kick going, I see. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater showed up in a major way. 2 TDs, one to Michael Thomas on the walk-in. Alvin Kamara showed up 69 yards with a running TD and 9 receptions, 92 yards, and another TD there off of 10 targets, man. We're seeing some people put up some crazy stats. When it comes to just catching the ball on every target, they're just there. Tyler Lockett, I want to say he dropped a TD in his game. Yeah, I actually watched that live. Yeah, he dropped a TD in this game. But other than that, I mean, he still had a great fantasy day, 11 receptions, 154 yards, and a TD, man. That's phenomenal. Phenomenal. DK, 2 receptions, 64 yards off of 6 targets. We're going to see that reception count come up off of 6 targets. But other than that, Will Dillisley showed up with a TD again. Another tight end pickup guy, 7 targets. He started showing up late last year before he got hurt, and now he's back. I've been watching him. I want to see what he looked like coming back from injury, and he's looking good. Russell Wilson is throwing him the ball, so their defense isn't stopping teams, as you can see. Usually Seahawks are pretty good about going in and slapping people in the mouth on defense when they're home, but the Saints went in and they took care of business. So there's going to be some shootouts in Seattle's future. So Russell Wilson is looking good. He's not. He finally ran the ball. He ran for 2 TDs. Me and Alex were hitting. We hit on that he wasn't running the ball, and that's where he was losing some of his fantasy production. But he ran the ball in this game, so that's really good. Put up really good stats. All right, I'm gonna pull up one of my fantasy teams. And let's go with Tab 1. We're going to rename this league. Everybody in this league staying next year, so we're going to keep it around. So we're looking to rename this league. Got to think of something sweet. So we're going to go with players, add players. I don't want to give away too much, but all right, so actually, let me look at this. No, I want a more competitive waiver look. This one has a lot of open players that I want to hit on because if I need them later, they're there. So, let's do DJ Did It. People are pretty good at hitting waivers in here. Let's go. DJ Did It. Don't even have Dave Johnson in this league. Players, and we'll go down to, there we go. All right, cool. So Oh, Alex just came up with an idea. He wants to post in a group who has the better waivers. So, sounding like another competition is going to be starting up. So, with that being said, guys, keep an eye out on that. We'll start off with quarterback. I know a few people were asking about the quarterback situation. At this point, if you're looking for quarterbacks, you have to look at you're playing schedules at this point. You're having to hit on the schedules, get people intrigued. You guys want in? Okay. Um, so Marcus Mariota, I'm still not trusting him. Casey Keenum, disappointed. Mason Rudolph didn't look bad. They have Cincinnati this week, so that's a really good matchup. Daniel Jones he has another sweet matchup against Washington this week, so he can expose them. Start your receivers in that game. Andy Dalton plays against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense is sort of soft, so everybody that's looking for a quarterback for this season, or just for this week for matchups in your waivers, you have definitely some strong matchups. Derek Carr has been slinging the rock. He's going against Indy. He's away at Indy. So, I don't know, man. Ooh, Daniel Jones is his first home game as well. So, I really like Daniel Jones. He should be a top waiver quarterback this week. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'm going to pull up Alex's waiver list. I want to make sure to hit on his list as well. Like I was saying, guys, check that out if you haven't already. Alex's list of waiver picks. Here we go. Cool. Here we go. So, yes, Alex agrees. Daniel Jones at quarterback. He's going Kyle Allen at Houston this week. Let's see. Kyle Allen's still out there. It looks like somebody might have. No, he's still there. All right, Kyle Allen against Houston this week. Ooh, that game could end up being a nice little shootout. Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson should already been added in most leagues. Let's go to running backs. Let's see what we have in this on running back. This league, ESPN needs to fix this. Don't know why Darius Geis is still up there. He's coming back off of IR maybe later in the season, but I'm not too concerned about picking him up right now. Ronald Jones, good luck guessing who's going to be the running back to play. They're almost like a not a Pittsburgh, sorry, but a New England Patriots kind of offense right now. Like any running back can play at any given week, and they could get majority of the carries. But if you're really hurting, you could toss, you can flip a coin and play Ronald Jones maybe the week after next or whatever. They play against the Rams. I'm not playing them this week, so I'm not worried about picking them up. Richard, I want to say, did the Raiders running back come out with an injury? I need to see if Jacobs got hurt last week. I know he only had 40-something yards, but I couldn't remember if he had an injury. Let's see. Alex had Wayne Gallman. He'll be taking over the workload in New York this year for a majority of the season until they bring someone else in, if they bring someone else in. So, yes. Let me see. He only put 2 running backs. So, we have Tony Pollard sold up. They play against New Orleans. I wouldn't play Tony Pollard this week. Alexander Madison. Dalvin Cook and him, they're playing really well, but I still don't trust him as a daily fantasy. If you own Dalvin Cook, you can pick him up as insurance as more and more players are starting to drop off. Maybe you have an open roster spot, so you can roster Alexander Madison. Edo Smith I'm not really concerned. He's hurt right now, which helps Devontae Freeman out a lot. Todd Montgomery, man, he might start getting more work. Le'Veon might think about sitting out this season. I don't know. He's getting set out. Everybody's putting pretty much everyone they can in that box. And until Darnold comes back and they can start throwing the ball, it's going to be rough for Lev Bell owners. I have him in a few leagues, so yeah, keep on Todd Montgomery, man. Lev is taking a lot of hits. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing in that situation. Other than that, let's go to receivers. Let's hit Alex's receivers. Philip Dorsett and McCole Hardman. In most of my leagues, I picked up McCole Hardman last week, so he should be picked up in this league, I'm pretty sure. But yes, if McCole Harmon is out there, like I was saying earlier, guys, he is getting a report down with. Sorry, I just had an update. Yes, he is getting he's getting reported down. McCole Harmon is with Mahomes. Sorry, I'm all over the place, guys. With Mahomes, and that's scary for Watkins. So yes, if McCole Harmon's out there, you have the roster spot. Pick him up. He'll be an asset, especially with Tyreek Hill most likely missing this week. You'll be able to start McCole Harmon again. He's a big play guy, man. He is a burner. So I agree with Alex there. Pick up McCole Harmon, Philip Dorsett. Let's see if Philip Dorsett is still out here. He is starting to get some carries. I want to show you guys. Yep, there he is. He's actually starting to get the ball. Antonio Brown is gone. Obviously, somebody has to step up. So with that being said, once again, boom, week 3, Tom Brady goes back to Dorsett. He gets 7 targets. He makes 6 catches, 53 yards, and another TD, man. Hey, pick up Dorsett. He's becoming a definite big option, an asset in New England. Let me see what else we have. Flex, Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen's probably picked up. We'll go to tight end. He had Will Dillisley in Arizona, or playing against Arizona. We hit on Will Dillisley earlier. Yes, he's starting to get a lot of looks. Will Dillisley is looking really good. Get your hands on Will Dillisley if you can. ESPN still showing Rob Gronkowski. Chris Herndon should be coming back soon. So Sam Darnold comes back. He'll come back as well. So that'll be big. Jordan Reed, I think he needs to go and retire. But, hey, who am I to judge? Don't know how long Hunter Henry's going to be out. David Njoku's on IR. Like I said, with T.Y. being out, Eric Ebron, look at him to be getting a lot more targets as well. So we'll see how that looks. Eric Ebron and Jack Doyle. Vernon Davis will be the tight end in Washington for the rest of the season. What that means, we don't know because it's all over the place. First game, he had 7 targets. He had that amazing touchdown run. But other than that, he dropped back down to earth. 4 targets, 3 catches, 2 catches, 29 yards and 30. Nothing impressive there. So we're looking at different options. I've been having my eye on Gostkowski. He was supposed to be the tight end and a half coming out the draft last year, but he's not producing. He had 6 targets, didn't do much with the catching. I guess he's falling off in Miami as well. They had some tough matchups. I'll give him that. So let's see what he does against the Chargers this week. And defenses, he has the Jaguars defense. I don't know if they'll be on any waivers. But let's see, we have the Browns playing at Baltimore. You don't want to pick them up. We have the Texans. It's Carolina. No, sir. You can almost start. I'm feeling pretty good about the Broncos against Jacksonville. They're in Mile High. Chris Harris is going to be out there. We're going to get to quarterback. Von Miller is ticked. He hasn't had a sack. Chubb is ticked. That crowd is going to be amped up. We want to win. So I'm feeling pretty good about Denver against Jacksonville. We've had 2 weeks to see Minshew. He looks really great. He looks phenomenal. But he is forcing the ball in a lot of places that he shouldn't. So we'll see how that plays out. So if you need a defense, you can pick up Denver's. We have the Colts going against Oakland. They're at home. That's another defense you could play this week. And yeah. Other than that, kickers, streaming kickers. I stream kickers on the weekly games I'm looking at. We have, if Badgley plays, we have him in Miami. They should be able to put up some points there. This Carolina is at Houston game. Yes, they were putting the ball in putting the ball in the end zone last week, once again against the Cardinals. We'll see how they do this week against a Houston defense in Houston. If the game becomes a shootout or if they get to drive, then Sly is a good pickup this week as well. He's been accurate, man. 2 for 3, 11 points, 16 points against Tampa Bay, 8 points to Arizona. Houston could be another big game for them if they're not able to put the ball in the end zone. So, with that being said, as always, shout out to our troops, shout out to our veterans out there, and shout out to me familia, shout out to the Taft heads, and shout out to you all, Taft Nation. We love you guys. Peace out. Look for the other guys to come on later today and this week. So, with that being said, I'm signing out. It was a phenomenal broadcast. Hope you all learned something. I hope you wish you all the best of luck.